Hey, what's up, everyone? Today we're going to be featuring a sweet new deck that I got excited about ever since I saw the card spoiled. Pyromancer's Goggles.
Gurgles.
Gurgles?
I say gurgles.
Gurgles is when they don't work right and then you tried.
My gurgles.
But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the almost mono red Goggles deck.
Yeah, we got a double splash?
We do have a double splash, but the deck at 56 cards was mono red.
Sure.
And then I realized that sometimes you got to kill Rhino and Ojutai and other big monsters.
Red is pretty bad at killing giant idiots.
Yeah, but all right, so let's just look at this deck because it doesn't look like a normal Magic deck. So I don't even know if it's going to function.
Probably not, but that's great.
Pyromancer's Goggles is one of the most unique cards to come out of Origins. Just giving mono red card advantage. Well, it's even better than card advantage because you don't have to draw and then cast it again.
Yeah,
you
it's
just
like
get
tempo card advantage.
Yeah, it's so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you get to use Goggles more than one time, it should be insane.
Yeah, and I mean, it's an artifact. I mean, right now it's a piece of paper.
Yeah.
But once it comes out, it's going to be an artifact that doesn't die to Dromoka's
There's
command.
a forest holding it up.
It does, yeah. But this doesn't die to Dromoka's command, one of the best cards against everything else in your deck. Yeah. But the whole idea is that you can control the board pretty easily in the first couple turns, but after a while you'll lose advantage going into the late game with a burn deck. But Pyromancer's Goggles turns everything into a removal spell for any creature, or lets it be a split card, lets everything be like a Searing Blood. Like you can just use Good Char, which is Exquisite Firecraft.
Yeah.
And you can
I do like that proxy, by the way.
Yeah, Good Char. You can kill a Courser and for them with a Goggles in play. Now, the rest of the deck is a little off the wall. We do have 4 Angers, mostly because the format does have a lot of Den Protector, Death Miss Raptors, Fleece Mane Lions.
If there's a deck that can attrition you out, even with a Pyromancer's Goggles, it is Death Miss Raptor.
Yeah, and these 2 cards in combination can wrath any board position. Searing Blood and Wild Slash, Lightning Strike are going to help in the early turns. This is also probably one of the ways that we're going to help burn out opponents. And the thing is, even if we don't get to keep Pyromancer's Goggles in play that long, like sometimes if there's removal spells, and we have to only use it once that turn, and that's why we have 3 Wild Slash. So you can play it on turn 5, tap for a red, and Wild Slash a Courser, or deal 4 to them. But we do have a decent amount of actual burn spells that, given enough time, we might be able to actually burn them out. The most unique card in this deck is Tormenting Voice. And now, the reason that the deck is playing Tormenting Voice is you sometimes have extra lands, sometimes draw cards like Anger or Wild Slash in the wrong matchups, Roast against control decks, and you're able to start looting through your deck. But with Pyromancer's Goggles in play, it's discard a card and cast it, draw 4. So you're able to like reload a lot. Like this is like sometimes, probably with Goggles in play, more powerful than a dig through time.
Yeah, I think it's important to note, I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but there is a new card out of Magic Origins that's 1 red, deal 2 to a creature.
Magma.
And then if you have a spell mastery, it does 3 instead of 2. But it only hits creatures, and it might come to a point where you will want that to replace Wild Slash in this style of deck, because we're way more about controlling until we get to the late game, and then no matter what burn spells we draw, they're almost always going to kill our opponent. But, if the format is such where you always have a target for Wild Slash as a creature, then it might just be better to play that because it can kill, like, Fleece Mane Lion, for example. Like, you can go Tormenting Voice, discard a thing, and then have a 1-mana spell that kills Fleece Mane Lion.
Oh, yeah, no, and I definitely thought about that card in this deck as well, but since I have a Roast and 4 Angers, I feel like they're taking up the same slots.
Yeah.
This is coming back to an old-school Planeswalker that hasn't had a lot of play. Also is almost out the door because of the new Chandra, but old Chandra Pyromancer is in this deck because it is more of a controlling shell. Yes, it dies to Downfall in the main deck, which is probably one of the big concerns.
Doesn't die to Dromoka's command.
Yeah, it doesn't die to Dromoka's command, and can kill a creature before it dies. It's a card that I really want to play with. And Outpost Siege isn't as good as Chandra. People think it is, but it's 0 actually, like sometimes them attacking a Chandra is better than attacking you.
Yep.
Also, taking this up to 7 and ultimating in this deck can just win the game.
Yeah.
And that stuff happens sometimes.
Yep. I really like the look of this deck. I think the new Chandra Planeswalker could potentially see play in this style of deck, but it makes things like main deck Anger of the Gods a little less appealing. So if we found a way to get around that, or maybe just if the format's at a point where Anger just belongs on the sideboard, maybe Chandra deserves the new Chandra deserves main deck.
I mean, we'll just have to see if this card is any good.
Sure.
Like that's step one. And then the reason that we're splashing Croak and Doom is big creatures are a threat. Killing Ojutai is important. And this deck already being so not tempo-based and just trying to control the game, get a Goggles in play, you want to play a bunch of temples anyway to help scry. So we will be, just getting the free roll splash with Crackling Doom.
Sure. Sounds good.
You want to check out the sideboard?
Yes.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
All right, so in the sideboard, we don't see a lot of spells for the Goggles, and that's because when we're up against control decks or decks that are going to be having counter spells, we're going to want to get a little aggressive against them. And Eidolon of the Great Revel has always been good in burn-style strategies to just guarantee some points of damage. But there's a new one out of Origins, Scab Clan Berserker. Now, what this card does is it has haste, and it has, what's the new, Renown? Renown? Oh, I got a new ability on the first...
yeah, I'm impressed, Brad.
I am too. I feel like my day's already over. I can go home.
Yeah,
it's been a good day.
I would love to go home. But,
yeah. So it has Renown 1, and so it has haste and Renown 1. So if the board is clear, tap land into tap land, attack for 2, it becomes a 3/3, and now it has kind of the same ability as Eidolon, but even a little bit more powerful against control. It says whenever a player plays a non-creature spell, they take 2. Whenever an opponent.
Oh, wow, so it's not even if they play a cheap one? It's just
it's just any non-creature. So if they wrap, take 2.
No, people kept explaining the card to me as it's just Eidolon when you attack them, and it has haste. Just like, okay.
Yeah. Nope. It's going to hit them on any spell. Dig through time is going to take damage. And this card just in the late game when there's a top deck war or when both decks are getting a little bit more anemic, they might have to dig through time into a removal spell to kill this. So that's a total of 6 damage guaranteed through this card in that situation. The rest of the sideboard is 2 Fated Conflagrations to help out against decks with Elspeths, Rhinos. Where you're going to want Roast, you're going to want this card. And it's a powerful card and lets you scry, tries to set up your Goggles. Sometimes you'll get 2 Goggles out of it. You get to scry 4. Things get a little crazy. Cool. Yeah. Roast is good early against the Abzan decks. Kolgun's Command is another anti-control card. Anti-mirror match technology as well, since we need to kill Goggles.
Yeah, dude, there's a mini artifact theme from Magic Origins. I'm not sure if there are enough artifacts to actually support it, but I don't know, man. I could see some Thopter Spy Network decks coming about.
I mean, this does clean up almost everything from Ashandra.
Yeah.
Ashandra's parents.
Pia and Kiran Nalar.
I'm very impressed. Yeah. And then 1 Molten Vortex because might as well. I knew that we were going to be, having to try out a lot of these new cards, and this one does look a little sketch, to be honest. But
dude, it just
if the game goes long, you don't have to play a lot of extra lands.
I can't wait for them to just like reprint Mulch next set or something. Like there has to be something that makes the card.
Don't even go there.
What?
Mulch is actually one of my favorite cards ever.
I know, that's why I said it. I knew you would have. I knew he would have this reaction.
I hate Satyr Wayfinder. He's a poser.
Satyr Wayfinder.
He's such a poser.
Wouldn't you rather have a 1/1 body as opposed to all of those lands?
Nope.
That's weird. You're weird.
Anyway, that is Mono Red Goggles or Goggle Burn.
Goggle Burn.
Goggle Burn.
Goggle Burn.
And I hope you guys enjoy the videos.